As temperatures start to heat up in Hamilton, not as hot as the Colgate women's lacrosse team winning 4 in a row. They try to continue their winning ways today at Andy Kerr Stadium as the Patriot League women's lacrosse tournament kicks off in Hamilton, New York. Good afternoon on ESPN Plus alongside Ellie Markwick. This is Eric Malinowski. Glad to be with you this afternoon as Colgate Women's Lacrosse hosting Lehigh. And Ellie, it feels sort of like Groundhog's Day. This matchup just occurred just a couple of days ago, and what a thriller it was. But Colgate fans, they're used to that. 4 straight games, 1-goal victories. The Cardiac Kids here at Colgate University pulling out another one. And the fact that they were able to do that, the reason they're here today hosting this 4-5 matchup against Lehigh should be another great one today, Ellie.
Yeah, and as you said, we were just here on Thursday watching the same matchup occur, and that was a really good game, a close game, really exciting. Both teams played exceptionally well, so it'll be exciting to see this matchup happen once again. The game on Thursday was to decide who would be playing, if it would be home or away. Both teams had already punched their ticket for the Patriot League tournament, but Colgate, becoming the victor in that game, gets the opportunity to host today here at Andy Kerr Stadium.
From a analysis standpoint, Ellie, how much adjustment can be made? Obviously, both teams know each other well. They're conference competitors, even though with the COVID kind of twist of things, I don't think they played each other for a couple seasons, but still, Lehigh, Colgate, rivals. So how much adjustments can be made from that Thursday matchup?
I mean, I think we're going to see a lot of similarities within the starting lineups. Colgate, it worked for them. They did win. But I think one area where we saw Colgate start to falter, especially in that second quarter, was their defense. So I'm sure having played against some of these standout players, such as Schneider, Eberhardt, and Carnevale, they now know kind of what to expect, and we'll see if they've made the adjustments, potentially better defense matchups and ways to neutralize the top 3 scorers for this Lehigh team.
Getting the Patriot League tournament underway, Emma Eberhardt and Kara O'Reilly. And I know Eberhardt had success with the draw control, but Colgate was able to figure things out late when it mattered. And Kara O'Reilly with the game winner. A whistle going against Colgate, so Lehigh will be in control wearing their road brown uniforms with the white numbers, and they will be on the attack right away, moving from left to right on ESPN Plus. Cassie Marty has it, and now she'll defer to Eberhardt. And from an offensive standpoint, what is Lehigh looking to do against the Colgate Raiders?
Lehigh did a really good job of controlling their offense. Something we talked about at length on Thursday is that they really know how to slow down the offense. If the opportunity isn't there, they won't take it. They have the least amount of shots in the Patriot League, but they also have goals when it matters. So they know they're very disciplined on attack, and they know not to take those shots and throw away their scoring opportunities if it's not there, and they still can produce results.
There's a low shot by Carnival. Katia Carnival misses to the right. Lehigh will maintain possession in a great coaching matchup. Once again, 2 veteran head coaches, Jill Redfern in her 14th season at the helm, and a spectacular save by Olivia Lynch, who has spearheaded this 4-game winning streak for the Colgate Raiders, and Kathy Taylor only in her 3rd season with Colgate as Colgate in transition. And on the other end, we highlighted Olivia Lynch, just as good as Haley Hunt, the transfer from Stony Brook. And Haley Hunt pumped up, showing some emotion, looking to get Lehigh into the semifinal round, where they'll either play Loyola and Army, and we'll delve into that scenario later on during this broadcast. And back to Coach Taylor. She's coached pretty much everywhere and had success everywhere, and now looking to have that type of success at Colgate, and certainly turning things around here late in the season, looking for a spirited run for the Colgate Raiders. What was that latest whistle, Ellie?
I believe it was shooting space, 2 defenders in front when she went to take the shot.
Lehigh getting set, looking to attack the straight-on delivery and stopped by Olivia Lynch. That was delivered by Giordano. And you had the pleasure of calling the game Thursday, and you said Olivia Lynch and Haley Hunt were on top of their game and picking up where they left off, although another point-blank shot, and that one hits the back of the net. Lehigh strikes first. We saw Colgate score the first 5 goals in the regular season finale, so Lehigh picks up goal number 1 at a sun-soaked Andy Kerr Stadium on a Sunday afternoon. Not much you could do there from an Olivia Lynch standpoint.
Yeah, and a credit to Lynch, saved the first one, was able to have her defense help her out on that one, but unfortunately defense just couldn't get there and deflect the shot in any way, shape, or form on that second one. And that's always tough, these free possession shots to defend against when it goes one-on-one with the goalie. It depends on how good the girl is with placing, moving the goalie so that she's got that wide-open shot.
We'll wait for the official announcement, but I believe that was a Carnival goal. Be no surprise if it was, and she is 38 on the season. Her and Eberhardt right up there, jockeying for the goal lead. And for her career, Carnival coming into this game with 97 career goals. Back to the draw control. O'Reilly running after it. Still loose. And it will be determined that Colgate has possession. And O'Reilly gets rid of it quickly. Colgate looking for the equalizer in the early stages. And other than that one transition run towards Haley Hunt, where they took a quick shot. Don't get me wrong, it was a good look, but they haven't possessed the ball at all here at home. So now this will be their first real possession where they get into their offensive mode. And I had the chance to ask you earlier, Ellie, what Lehigh is looking to do offensively. Well, what's the Colgate mindset going into this one?
Well, we talked about how Colgate,
there it is. A nice slash towards the right side. Set it up perfectly. An isolation play going towards the right side and a high percentage shot by Devin Millette. And Millette has really been coming on her freshman year. And she scores once again for the Raiders. Colgate and Lehigh tied at 1.
And no surprise with Millette there scoring when Millette has kind of that determination in her step. Usually very easy for her to find goal. One thing that we talked about on Thursday against this Lehigh team, very solid Lehigh defense. So Colgate sometimes needs to control their defense and take those opportunities when they count, similar to Lehigh. But it makes sense when there's more purpose and intent behind the shots rather than that shot that we saw at the beginning. Good opportunity, but taken too quickly. But when there's concentration, as we saw Millette's shot, it works for the Raiders.
And she really slacked against Lehigh. Well, as far as Devin Millette's standards go as of late, she had 1 goal in the regular season finale against Lehigh. Now she has 1 goal today as Lehigh has possession. Before the Lehigh regular season finale, Millette had 4 goals in each game at American and against Holy Cross. So Millette has been on a tear, 25 goals for the season. And she found out how great Colgate was through her brother Nick, a 2014 alum. Lehigh trying to maintain possession, a whistle as Gabby Schneider was in the middle of a whole lot of white and maroon jerseys there, trying to battle through traffic, and a whistle helps her out. So now Schneider will be in between the hashes, closer to the right hash mark. Lynch gets set, holds the goalie's stick on her right shoulder. Schneider defended well. Millette, the goal scorer, the initial defense. Schneider loses it, but a whistle quickly blown. And Lehigh maintains possession here. Now right inside the left hash mark. Waiting for the play to start once again. 1-1 if you're just joining us. High stakes at Andy Kerr Stadium in Hamilton, New York. Lose today, and that's a wrap on the 2022 season. A defensive stop by Colgate. A turnover in Colgate's own end. Lehigh looking to take advantage of it. Sloppy play there, but Lynch with the kick save off her right knee. And what did Colgate do there? A sloppy turnover in their own end, Ellie.
Well, transitioning in the midfield was something that Colgate really struggled with on Thursday. We saw that Colgate would get kind of panicked in the midfield because this Lehigh team is fantastic about riding. Couple of caused turnovers in the midfield that gave Lehigh, in a similar situation to what we just saw, a very good chance at going one-on-one with the goalie with a lack of defenders, as that Colgate team was working on moving upfield. So I believe they were just trying to clear it as quickly as possible to avoid that ride, and unfortunately just a lack of communication on the defense part.
A lot of whistles so far going against Colgate. And as Lehigh, as you said, Ellie, they really wait to shoot the ball. They try to maintain that possession as long as possible. Does fatigue start to become a factor on the defensive end where they start to get a little winded and maybe reach and maybe try to, a little bit desperation factor? Because it seems like Colgate's being blown for a lot of infractions in the early stages.
Well, Colgate is actually really good on defense about being very disciplined. They rarely move outside of the 8-meter. They hug it pretty tightly, which is good because if you're an offensive team, you really want to draw them out. So if there's less people in the crease, less opportunities for people to get in front of you. So Colgate's been pretty good about that, but they really have to slide against this Lehigh team. And when Lehigh passes as much as they do, rather than just having one person drive to goal, it can get very tiring very quickly.
I like the physicality on the far side there by Mia Hartung, making sure the offensive attack from the outer edge of the hash mark, and more physicality being displayed, but a little too physical, at least the official thought so. And yet again, another whistle against the predominantly white-clad Colgate Raiders women's lacrosse team, looking to beat Lehigh for the second straight time in less than a week. Olivia Lynch has been spectacular once again. The Montclair, New Jersey native has been up to the task, but the defense has also been superb as well.
Here comes Eliza Joffrey. She was crucial to Colgate being able to clear that in the midfield. And there they go, down to the attacking third.
Yeah, nice pass ahead to Suter. She made it look so easy, but it was not. The pass and the catch. The shot goes behind the net. Colgate still controls. Raiders got an excellent shot from Millette last time around. Katie Lang has it. Lang looking for another high percentage shot. Sliding over and making the stop. It's Haley Hunt. Colgate, though, maintains possession. Sharp diagonal pass, that time by Lucy. And a whistle goes against the brown and white of Lehigh. I'm sure Coach Taylor and the Colgate Raiders would like some offensive possession time to try to wear down Lehigh a little bit. Nice deke by Suter, and Suter strikes the Raiders with their first lead of the afternoon, 2-1, with 7:50 left to go in the first quarter. Colgate 2, Lehigh 1. And we will step aside for a media timeout. The Raiders, with a 1-goal advantage, will be back with more after this on ESPN+. Second team All-Patriot League 2021, and Liza Suter on a hot streak coming into this one. 6 combined goals in her last 2. She had 2 against Lehigh. 73rd goal of Suter's career, so number 30 continues to do productive things for the Colgate Raiders. Ball is loose, still loose. And a little bit of a push by Hartung. The Endwell, New York native, certainly not afraid to get physical. We've seen that a couple times from Mia Hartung. Hartung delivering the hammer. And a whistle is blown this time against Mia Hartung. So Lehigh will settle into their offensive set. Looking for the equalizer. First time they have trailed in the Patriot League Tournament quarterfinal. The last time these two teams met in the Patriot League Tournament, Lehigh came out victorious. That was back in 2016, and that's the last time Colgate had a winning streak this long. Colgate rattled off 5 straight that season. There's a little bit of a push, inducing yet another whistle. Lehigh with the run, kind of surprising Colgate, and a quick score. And I didn't even see the jersey number, but you can tell right away by the height that was Emma Eberhardt. How tall Emma is, that she was streaking down the sideline, and the quick whistle, and then Colgate didn't think play would be enacted that quickly, Ellie, and caught Colgate by surprise, and Eberhardt with a quick goal.
Yeah, you could even see as Eberhardt started moving, Colgate defenders still communicating with another, still pointing out no one seemed to realize that Eberhardt was already moving clear path down to the goal. And if you're someone as talented as Eberhardt, that's an easy shot to take. No surprise there that Lehigh is now tied with the Colgate Raiders after a play like that.
2-2, back to the draw control. I mentioned the win streak back in 2016, but this is the first of its kind in Colgate women's lacrosse history. The Colgate has won 4 straight games by 1 goal. That's unheard of. I looked back, and I think the most Colgate's ever won by 1 goal, maybe 2 games in a row, not even 3 games in a row. I mean, to win 4 games by 1 goal, I mean, that's just hard to believe. I had to go back their entire history, and nothing like this has ever been done. So give credit to the resolve and to be in those type of close games and be able to pull them out. It tells a lot about the makeup of these kids, and let's see if they can keep it going today against their arch rival in the Patriot League Tournament quarterfinals. If they win today, they'll have a matchup with either Loyola or Army. Colgate loses possession, trying to get it back. They do. And Katie Lang trying to get out of trouble. She does. Passes out of it. Shake and bake on the far side now. Colgate will settle things down. Millette scoring the first goal of the afternoon. 20 on the shot clock. Colgate taking a page out of Lehigh's playbook, being very patient on this charge down the field. Now Millette tries to take it in, has the ball poked free, but a whistle going against Lehigh. 5:08 left to go in the first quarter. Colgate jumped out to a 5-0 lead Thursday. This has much more of a deliberate pace to it than the regular season finale. Millette ready to charge in. She'll take the shot, misfires. And Lehigh will have it in the goal stick of Haley Hunt. Slowly walking up, ready to heave it. And so she does to Quinn Meyer. Lehigh quickly loses it. And here comes Colgate. Nice pass back to Suter. Suter can't handle it, though. The delivery by Lucy. And usually Suter has sure of a stick as anyone, but just couldn't haul that one in. Now Lehigh, well, they look like they were headed down the field, and now they are settling into their offensive set with Gabby Schneider. We haven't heard much from Schneider so far, and that's a good thing if you're a Raiders fan. We've heard from Carnival and Eberhardt, the three-headed offensive monster for Lehigh.
I say certainly not for lack of trying from Schneider. She's already had 2 free position shots for the day, but Lynch has just been a stone wall so far in goal. Wasn't able to make sure that those did not find the back of the net.
Schneider, a junior from Smithtown, New York. Once again, trying to weave her way gain to the scoring column, but Elizabeth Joffrey would have none of that. Now Lehigh circling behind the net. 18 on the shot clock. Carnival misses. Ball is free. Sprinting for it is Harding. And it will be Colgate possession.
We'll see if Colgate can successfully get it through the midfield. They've struggled a little bit here. Eliza Joffrey primarily was just running it through. She's got the speed to do it, and she was Colgate's solution to that issue of the midfield on Thursday.
A beautiful afternoon here for this Patriot League Tournament quarterfinal. And some serious things would have to happen in the Patriot League Tournament for Colgate to have another game here at Andy Kerr Stadium. So this will probably be it. Kate Henning into the game for the Colgate Raiders. Henning, a freshman from Garnet Valley, Pennsylvania. Backing up with it is Lucy. Now the attack from the right side. The shot. A little off by Lucy Licata. Yet another freshman. And you and I, Ellie, were talking about the youth of this Colgate Raiders. And it's one thing to be a youthful squad, but it's another thing to have the freshmen and sophomores making a significant contribution to the team. And that's what Colgate certainly has.
Yeah, this has been a recurring theme for us throughout the season. If you've tuned into any of our games, you've heard us talk at length about how young this team was. On their senior day, they had 3 seniors be recognized. So it really is primarily up to the freshmen and sophomores to do the brunt work for their team. And as Coach Taylor has said time and time again, this team has absolutely stepped up in a way that she could have only hoped for at the beginning of the season.
And when you have a young team, it's no surprise that they really come into their own later on, which kind of exemplifies this 4-game winning streak at the end of the season. So let's see if they can keep it going. Good defensive play by the Mountain Hawks, taking it away at the last second. And Lehigh has possession. Good gritty play down low by Lehigh. And you just kind of have the feeling, maybe I'm wrong, but you kind of have the feeling that this is going to be a back and forth battle, which you really have to earn every single goal throughout the afternoon. Jenna Garden with that last stalwart defensive play. She's one of the seniors for the Mountain Hawks. Lehigh certainly has a more veteran team, but they have some freshmen and sophomores sprinkled in that play a significant role as well. So now Lehigh, in contrast, will certainly settle things down. Although as soon as I say that, Giordano makes a run. Kind of faked me out as threw it behind the net.
Well, with 25 seconds left on the clock for this first quarter, Lehigh's probably going to try and control it as long as they can. Shot clock is dark, and they'll probably try and get a shot off right at the end just to set the tone going into the second quarter.
Nice pass down low. Eberhardt with the behind-the-shoulder shot. Wow, what a feed down low. And no chance by Olivia Lynch as Eberhardt went behind the shoulder. And the Sharon, Massachusetts native gives Lehigh the 3-2 lead. So 2 unanswered goals by the Mountain Hawks will seemingly give Lehigh the lead in to the second quarter, but you never know. A very quick attack by Colgate could shut me up very quickly Ellie, as we've seen stranger things here.
Well, Colgate has struggled with the fast and furious offense against this Lehigh team. When they try to play quick, they tend to get frantic, and that's where we've seen a lot of these missed passes or kind of sloppy shots taken on goal. So if Colgate wants to score, they're going to have to do so in an intentional and pretty tactical manner rather than just desperately flinging it down the field. 10 seconds, not a lot of time to make something happen. But as you said, with a good draw control, Colgate could certainly get it done.
And no Eberhard in there. It's going to be Maggie Kelly, the senior from Hunt Valley, Maryland. O'Reilly stays in there, and O'Reilly won it, but a quick whistle going against Colgate. So Lehigh has it. Lehigh trying to go up by 2 goals. They cannot. The pass goes awry. First quarter in the books with Lehigh leading 3-2 in this Patriot League tournament quarterfinal. We'll be back for quarter number 2 after this on ESPN+.
The Patriot League is dedicated to the development of the student athlete through excellence in athletic competition, challenging academics, and contributing within their communities. The league's mission is to promote leadership while encouraging and celebrating our student athletes for standing against racism and using their voices for positive social change. We are today's scholar athletes. We are tomorrow's leaders. We are the Patriot League.
Brand new.
Here you go.
My treat. I just got this super rewarding PenFed credit card.
But you're not in the military.
Everyone's eligible to join. And you get rewards for every purchase.
Everything?
Mm-hmm.
Groceries?
Yep.
Gas?
Yep.
Restaurants?
Every single purchase.
Even dessert?
Here comes trouble. The Flamingo Fiesta.
Ooh, check this.
Experience the power of cash rewards with up to 2% back on every purchase,
Oh, no pictures.
whether you're in uniform or not.
For Ellie Markwick, this is Eric Malinowski, and I want to thank Tara for doing a great job behind the scenes for this ESPN Plus broadcast. Heading into the second quarter at Andy Kerr Stadium in Hamilton, New York, the Lehigh Mountain Hawks leading Colgate 3-2. Colgate coming in with an overall mark of 6-11, 5-4 in the Patriot League. Lehigh has that identical conference record at 5-4. Lehigh 8-8 overall. Well, Ellie, break down the first 15 minutes of play. What was your overall analysis after the first quarter is now in the books?
I mean, I think the thing to draw attention to is that Lehigh and Colgate are actually tied for draw controls at 3 apiece right now. The draw control is the key factor to Colgate, even when they may struggle with some other aspects and maybe are struggling a little bit in a certain portion of a game. The draw control is their fallback. They know that they'll get that first chance to score, to draw first blood, and to kind of set the tone and set the pace. However, we've seen Lehigh been able to effectively neutralize that advantage for the Raiders, and that's led to a lot of, I would say, uncertainty on the part of the Raiders. They don't really get to set the tone. They have to immediately race back and settle into defense and get set before the likes of Eberhardt and Schneider come racing at them. So we'll have to see if they can kind of fix things and start dominating in the draw circle in order to do what they need to and get the ball down to the offensive end. The other thing that I would add is just on the attack, they've been doing well, but they haven't been able to spread out that that Lehigh defense, which has made it very hard for them to effectively cut and get anywhere near cage.
The officiating crew this afternoon, Devin Holcomb, Brian Rosentowski, Eileen Jones, and Art Martinchillo. This is my first women's lacrosse game live so far this season, Ellie, and do we usually see this many whistles? Because it seems like with high frequency, we're seeing this whistle blown quite a bit so far this afternoon in the first quarter, especially in the draw control, which, ironically enough, no whistle, Lehigh wins that.
Well, shooting space will happen often. That's a pretty easy foul to draw if you're on the attack. Any chance to move your stick back and look like you're going to take a shot, if there's a girl in front of you, 10 out of 10 times, there will be a whistle called for that one. But this Lehigh team is very physical, very aggressive. As I've said repeatedly, in the midfield, they are very good at the ride and getting the ball out. So you see Colgate trying to retaliate and meet them at that level. And that's just going to result in a physical game. Both teams are really wanting it today, and sometimes when other things aren't working, you really need to step up your levels of aggression. So I think pretty typical, but maybe dialed up just a little bit because of the stakes today.
Gabby Schneider trying to take control once again, and fellow number 1, Olivia Lynch, up to the challenge, stonewalling her, and a minute has elapsed in the second quarter. Colgate in possession currently, but really trying to hold on, and they barely do, I believe, Ellie, with Sarah Harding able to withstand the Lehigh pressure in the midfield.
Yeah, just stepped out of bounds there, but referees deemed that she was pushed out of bounds, so Colgate getting to retain possession and move down to their attacking third.
Yeah, the goals in the first quarter, Eberhardt had 2, Carnival had 1. Giordano had an assist for Lehigh, while Millette and Suter had a goal apiece for Colgate. No assist registered. And the one thing I don't see on this stat sheet is shots on goal, but as you mentioned, had to be quite a bit for Schneider. Individual, as a team, Lehigh had 10 shots in the first quarter, but I wonder how many individually Schneider had, as she seemed like to be quite active, but hasn't been able to put together first goal or an assist, and Colgate has to be quite pleased with that. Although the other 2, Carnival and Eberhardt, were able to make an impact in the first quarter. So here's Colgate throwing it away after they were able to get it back, but for not. And now Lehigh on the attack for the second time, they're going to attack here in the second quarter, moving from right to left. Good crowd, good atmosphere here. Colgate Marketing Department always doing a great job. Not that they had to really promote this, because the student body, everybody, the community knows the importance of this game. Patriot League Tournament quarterfinal for the women's lacrosse program. And Coach Taylor, I had the opportunity to talk to her right after she was hired. And what an inspirational speaker she is. And she really grabs your attention, and what an impact she's had on this program and all the participants, whether they're players, support staff. And it's just great that she's involved with this program, and looking forward to years to come with Coach Taylor at the helm. Lehigh missed the initial shot, but they currently have it behind the net. The Mountain Hawks up by 1. No one has had a 2-goal lead as of yet. This is the second time that Lehigh has had a 1-goal advantage. Colgate was able to come right back. Lehigh, as the road team, would love to put some pressure on the home squad. Colgate, as Ellie said, having to get physical, and they're up to the challenge, not backing down, but that induces a whistle.
That slide we saw there may have just been a tad bit aggressive, as both girls were moving and just collided with one another. Giving Eberhardt a chance for another free position shot.
Looking for the hat trick here already in the early stages of the second quarter. Eberhardt swerves to the right, patience, and able to score over the head of Olivia Lynch. Able to wait just long enough to deliver the goal.
And that's all the strategy that you need, is just being able to move the goalie, which Eberhardt effectively did. 2 quick fakes and then a shot after Lynch had already stepped out of the cage, leaving a lot of available net space. And now here's your two goal lead that you were mentioning earlier.
And she kind of used Lynch as a shield to Licata, because she was sliding away from Licata, and Licata really couldn't get to her because Lynch was trying to slide out to make sure Eberhardt wouldn't have a great look. And so there was no defender really in front of Eberhardt either. So it was basically a one-on-one with Lynch, and Lynch is only so tall. She's 5'5", that there was plenty of space over her head with Eberhardt being tall and at 5'8", able to see and able to deliver her third goal of the afternoon already. Colgate able to win the draw control. And as we saw Lehigh able to come back from a 5-goal deficit, I hate to say it's a must-score opportunity here, but with it being such a high-stakes game, you don't want to fall into a big-time hole and put that type of pressure on your shoulders. So if you're a Colgate fan, you'd like to see them get right back into it and not dig themselves a full hole. And Devin Millette says, I hear you, as she puts it right over the shoulder of Haley Hunt. And Devin Millette, well, she does one thing. She doesn't waste any time. She attacks right away. And I don't know if that's just her playing style or if that's just a freshman saying, I don't want to wait around. I just want to attack and goal. And Devin Millette has her second goal of the afternoon, 4-3 Lehigh.
Impressive goal as well. Millette taking a very sharp angle with that goal, just able to notch that ball right in between the net and the far post. Very difficult shot to make, especially impressive when you consider the fact that she is a freshman. Just to answer your question earlier, that is kind of Millette's style. Throughout the season, we've seen her grow into a player that really takes the charge onto her own shoulders. Still a really good teammate, passes when necessary, but is very effective at driving all the way through that 8 until she's right in front of cage, and that has been a tremendous asset to this Colgate offense this season.
Has to lead to a lot of opposing coaches biting their fingernails with Devin Millette only being a freshman and having a whole lot of eligibility left in the Patriot League. Being this good this early. And I forgot to mention, well, I still have time, so I didn't forget to mention yet, she's the reigning Patriot League Rookie of the Week, and this is the second time she has earned this honor. She won her first award, I believe, in March. So congratulations to Devin. Now Colgate has it back, and they're looking for the equalizer right away.
This is some good offensive discipline here. Colgate waiting to get settled, giving themselves a chance to do some passing before they run into their plays.
Here's another quick shot, and did that hit the crossbar? It looked, I don't know if that hit Haley Hunt or if it hit the bar. It might have hit the knee of Haley Hunt. Is able to slide over, and she has great positioning. Not only was she a standout at the William Penn Charter School in Lacrosse, but she holds the all-time goals record in water polo. 266 goals in water polo. I had to check that to make sure it was right. Not that I don't doubt it, but I mean, here she's an outstanding goalie. And so now she's a goal scorer in water polo. But, yep, William Penn Charter School record. I don't think anyone's going to touch that anytime soon. Another nice slide over, although that was a high bouncer right in front of her. I don't know if that was going to go in regardless. Good news for Colgate is that they get it right back into the stick of Eliza Ferris. Eliza Suter and Eliza Ferris playing catch on the perimeter. And it looked like Ferris was going to pass it, and now she does to Carol O'Reilly. So they're working the outer edges right now, being patient with 30 on the shot clock. And now a little pressure out front on Licata. So Licata gets rid of it, working it behind the net. Still Colgate, plenty of time. And Lucy whiffs on the pass. It was Kira Lucy giving Lehigh the possession back. Unfortunate turn of events for Colgate and a hard hit on the far sideline. I don't know how intentional that was or just kind of a misread on where the Lehigh player was going. But at the end of the day, Lauren Marindet is going to go off and has to sit on the penalty chair for a couple minutes, right, Ellie?
Yeah, Mirandet isn't usually a player that we see get too physically aggressive. So that might have just been like a mistake, as you said. But going to how we got to this place, Lucy with that pass, she's been such a player that we've talked about so much this season as being that dynamic X factor for Colgate. But this Lehigh team, we saw this on Thursday and we've seen it so far today, has really been able to neutralize her from that X, not giving her a chance to make too many outlet passes, and she's being forced to slide around to the sides of that 8 meter, and she's just been rendered she's been neutralized essentially by this Lehigh team, and that's something Colgate's going to have to figure out in these next few quarters.
So let's see if they can take advantage of the fact that they have the extra player opportunity here. As from an offensive standpoint, what do you look to do as this penalty situation is occurring here, Ellie? What is the mindset? Go right at it, or try to get a little cute and really set up the perfect goal? As well, that's what Lehigh did. A nice little pass to the cutter, and that will absolve the Marindet penalty, and now will be a even player situation, and that will bring us to the media timeout of the second quarter, and I'll get your analysis on that, as I believe that was number one, and that was Gabby Schneider with her first goal of the afternoon. So we'll get some analysis from Ellie Markwick after this media timeout. Lehigh leads again by 2, 5-3 ESPN+. Oh, today's game is a big deal. If Rich Waniger from the Patriot League is in the house, it is the Patriot League Tournament quarterfinal. Colgate and Lehigh doing battle. Colgate beating Lehigh Thursday in the regular season finale to earn rights to host this game today. Currently, Lehigh leading 5-3. And talk about that last goal, the man advantage there, and Gabby Schneider finally getting free for her first goal of the afternoon, Ellie.
Well, with a goal like that, you have to kind of think that a pass is going to be coming. It was a free position shot, and they had a pretty sharp angle, one hash over from the furthest hash. So really difficult in those situations to take a shot straight on at the goal. Sometimes it's just easier to make the pass. That's exactly what Lehigh elected to do, passing to Schneider, who was dead center in front of the cage. And then if you're Lynch having to transition that quickly, it was so well executed by that Lehigh offense. You knew it was going to be a goal the second you saw it touch Schneider's stick.
Schneider loves tourney time. She was a Patriot League all-tourney representative a year ago. And Lehigh really trying to put the pressure on Colgate. Past the midway point of the second quarter, already up 2. Looking for more. Coming into this match with a chip on their shoulder. It's kind of interesting to delve into the psyche of this matchup with Colgate just defeating Lehigh. So Lehigh has that kind of bad taste in their mouth, but you kind of look into Colgate's perspective, and as a nice defensive play by the Raiders for the moment, but Lehigh still in pursuit and able to wrangle that one free. Margaret Noble almost giving possession of the Colgate Raiders there, but Lehigh able to stay with it.
Well, Colgate's going to need to step up with their ground ball control. Lehigh is currently leading in that statistic, and when we really saw the tide turn in Colgate's favor, the two things they did in tandem were get more consistent with the draw controls, and then they were taking almost every ground ball that occurred, so they were able to maintain that possession and maintain their scoring opportunities.
Colgate has it right now. Before Colgate maintained possession, Olivia Meminger had it for a second, and she went to the same high school, Strathaven, as the offensive star of the day for the Colgate Raiders, Devin Millette. Suter has it for the Raiders. Triple team by Lehigh, able to pass it through traffic. Now, I was saying about the Colgate mindset is, they have to be just as determined as Lehigh, even though they just beat Lehigh, because they realize their season's over if they lose today. So, yeah, Lehigh might have a chip on their shoulder coming in today's matchup because they just lost to Colgate, but you have to think Colgate's just as hungry because they know what's at stake. It is definitely an interesting thing, though, when you kind of think of the psyche that goes into this. But if you ask coaches, when you talk about a matchup like this, they'll give you the same answer all the time. It's about who executes. At this point in the game, behind the net that Kate Henning's holding the ball, she's not thinking about the psyche of this matchup. She's thinking about, I've got to execute this pass. And that's what it really comes down to, the execution in these crucial moments, a whistle blown against Lehigh. So with 4:59 left to go in the second quarter, it is 5-3 Lehigh. Talking about the execution points, though, Ellie, how tough is it in a crucial matchup like this with so much at stake as Colgate running towards the net, the shot, and the score, and that is going to be delivered in by Eliza Ferris. Ferris able to bounce that one home, and the Raiders sneak within 1. Does it just come down to playing, and does it feel like another game, do you think, Ellie, or is it a tense moment? I mean, does a game like this, do you think, feel different to the players with all this on the line, knowing that your season could come to an end today?
Absolutely. Every coach will tell you, and every player will even say it, that, nothing that came before this matters. It's all about the here and now. They really try to ignore any previous history, any previous matches. But as a player, when you're standing on the field, that's always going to be in the back of your mind and can sometimes lead to kind of psyching yourself out. You put so much pressure on yourself that you actually begin to do a little worse, get a little more aggressive, make a few more mistakes on the fouls, maybe miss a few passes or drop a ball. So I think it's really important for these Colgate Raiders and Lehigh Mountain Hawks, both teams, if they want to do well, to just kind of focus on the here and now and really be involved in the play and not trying to overthink too much.
Ferris is certainly focusing on the here and now, and she loves to play against Lehigh. The sophomore now has 10 goals, and she has goals in back-to-back games against Lehigh. Before that, Ellie, her last goal was March 30th when she tallied twice against Bucknell. So before these 2 Lehigh games, it was a little bit of a drought for the sophomore. So Lehigh bringing out the best in the sophomore, and still early enough. So let's see if Ferris can do more damage, coming up in a big spot, both in the regular season finale and now in the Patriot League Tournament quarterfinal. And back to a 1-goal Lehigh advantage. The Mountain Hawks do maintain possession. And back to their compassing on the perimeter before they mount an attack. And here it comes. Schneider looking for her second goal of the game, and she has it. Quickly back to a 2-goal game just like that. Colgate has no time to rest. The pressure right back on the maroon and white. And Gabby Schneider had a great game against Colgate just a couple days ago, and it took her a little while to get started. She had 2 goals against Colgate Thursday. She has 2 goals against Colgate Sunday, and that total could escalate.
You know that she's dangerous, so on an isolation play like that, it's really crucial that you stop her. And unfortunately, Elizabeth Joffrey just was not able to get around her, and that's what they're hoping with those isolation plays. Slide came too late. Colgate didn't decide to double team there, which maybe would have been more effective, but then it would have left a player open potentially for the follow-up. So just a very well-executed play on the part of the Mountain Hawks there to put them back in their 2-goal lead. 6-4 to the Mountain Hawks right now.
Draw control won by Colgate for the moment, and quickly stripped away by Lehigh. And now Lehigh once again going on the attack. This has been the biggest lead of the game for Lehigh, looking for their first 3-goal advantage. Maggie Kelly once again handling the draw control. Although she lost it initially, they were able to wrangle the ball free to maintain possession here.
Well, if you're Colgate, you really need to work on keeping the ball and controlling it, cradling it close. We've seen Mountain Hawks are so effective at doing clean checks that rip the ball loose to grab possession, something Colgate's definitely going to need to adjust to in the second half.
Nice passing by Lehigh. And Colgate doing a good job of not letting the Mountain Hawks get close to Lynch. Although a late whistle with 3:07 to go in the second quarter will give Lehigh a good look here from the right angle. I believe Eberhardt will be the one scooping here. Will be the one cradling it, excuse me. She'll pass it straight away, and now here's the over-the-shoulder shot. Just like that, Lehigh goes up by 3. Crisp passing by the brown and white.
Yeah, absolutely beautiful execution on that one by the Mountain Hawks. Just 2 clean passes and no one on number 22 for the Mountain Hawks. That is
Quinn Meyer.
Quinn Meyer. A great goal there for the Mountain Hawks. Like I said already, just the precision with that, the planning. Again, Eberhardt taking it at a sharp angle. You had to guess the pass could potentially be coming. A little shocking that she passed it so far out of the 8, but it absolutely worked to their advantage.
And that might be the Summit, New Jersey connection there. A couple of Summit, New Jersey high school products there in Carnival and Quinn Meyer. Carnival, the junior, Meyer, the freshman. We're going to keep things right here. And the Raiders currently down by 3, 7-4. But you're a veteran of the lacrosse game. I mean, you're still quite young, but you've played enough lacrosse games in your life where you know even though it's a 3-goal lead, that can be flipped around quite quickly. So is it important that Colgate dives into this deficit before the halftime intermission? Or, I mean, it would be nice. It's not like going into the halftime down by 3, that's a deal breaker. They can obviously come back from a 3-goal deficit. So, I mean, what's the mindset? You just want to play some good lacrosse going into the halftime locker room. Doesn't really matter what the score is. Coach Taylor kind of just wants to shift the momentum here, Ellie.
Yeah, I would say, again, the mental part of this game is so important when you're a player. You can do everything right, but it's all about what you're currently believing and telling yourself. So for Colgate here, Like you said, 3 goals, not a lot, but it's all about the momentum. What is the mood going to be in the locker room when this first half ends? If you're Colgate, you want to notch another goal in there to feel like, yeah, we're still in this, we're still playing well, and that'll be a game changer for them. And then if you're Lehigh, on the other hand, you want to prevent Colgate from scoring, maybe score another goal of your own to go into halftime feeling extra hyped and confident. Whatever happens here, whoever scores within these last 3 minutes will definitely have the advantage coming out of halftime.
The other game going on right now, American, the number 6 seed at Navy. And that one started at noon. So we'll look to get an update of that game before the end of this broadcast. If American was to record the upset, that means the winner of this one would play Army. And if Navy was to hold ground and defeat the Eagles, that means either Lehigh or Colgate would be taking on number 1 seed Loyola, the 2-time defending champs. Colgate wins the draw control, able to hold on, and Sarah Harding swerves. Rifles it. And Kate Henning gains some significant time today. Colgate being deliberate, knowing they would love to put that behind Haley Hunt. And that one slides to get in. Not much of a celebration if that got in.
I can't tell if they're going to count the goal or not. With the way that the referee is gesturing, obviously a card. I think they're actually instead going to say it was a dangerous shot. Because we see over here number 30 for the Raiders, Suter, taking a seat. So I believe that goal was ruled null because, yeah, dangerous shot, maybe a crease violation. There's a whole host of things going on over there.
So it did get by Hunt, but by the lack of celebration, that was a telltale sign. The call was going against Colgate. And I believe the only penalties today, Ellie, going against Colgate Raiders, right? This is number 2.
Yep.
And the last time Lehigh was able to take quick advantage of it, that was the one that really got Schneider on track. And it's been a different game since Schneider got her first tally.
I will say throughout the season, Colgate's been pretty good about holding off the man-up opportunities. However, with that Schneider goal, that was coming off of a free position shot, and those are always difficult to defend against when you're down a player.
Boy, that was a good look by Meminger. She was open, but doesn't matter because Lehigh able to score from the opposite angle. Carnival with the goal, assisted by Schneider, and the Lehigh offense percolating right now with less than 90 seconds go in the second quarter. The Mountain Hawks doubling up Colgate 8-4.
And Carnival just able to slip past Millette there for the goal, get wide open, quickly turn and take the power from that turn shot, just whip it past Lynch. Now the Mountain Hawks are up by 4, and as we said earlier, if you're Lehigh, that's the type of momentum you want going into halftime. And if you're Colgate, shot clock is dark. You have 1 possession to try and make a dent in this 4-goal lead to change the tide a little bit and have some good, positive, uplifting feelings going into the locker room at halftime.
I believe that's goal number 2 for Carnival. So indeed, if that's the case, that's 99 for her career. And I mean, just kind of shake your head at the offensive firepower that Lehigh has. And defensively, it is tough. I mean,
numbers 1, 2, and 3.
Yeah, it's a conundrum. As we mentioned, or as you mentioned, Ellie, that balance-wise, from top to bottom, that's where it becomes a little thin for Lehigh. But the top 3, it's hard to find a top 3 better in the Patriot League than what Lehigh offers up. in Schneider, Eberhardt, and Carnival. And not taking away from, we've seen some other talented players here, and they definitely have potential. But, boy, those top three absolutely loaded.
That's difficult for Colgate's defense because one standout player, you can always double her, you can have her number as a target, and you know that you need to neutralize her. But three, that's where it becomes a little difficult for the Colgate defense to consistently put up the energy to stop three dynamite players.
Lehigh trying to whittle the time down to the very end.
Too easy for Eberhardt to draw the shooting space foul there. And that'll put her at the center hash with 15 seconds left. Probably the best shooting position you can have if you're taking a free position shot.
So Eberhardt right inside the blue circle. Left foot behind her. Ready to charge forward. Last time she passed, and it worked out quite well. This time she's going to charge right in, and it looked like it was defended well. But let's see if Colgate has enough time. It looked like Margaret Noble was able to get a stick in there to make sure Eberhardt didn't get a good shot off. Colgate will not be able to get a shot off. Stymied in the midfield area. And the first half comes to an end with a momentum squarely on the side of the brown and white. Lehigh leading Colgate 8-4 in this Patriot League tournament quarterfinal. We'll step aside and we'll have all the exciting second half action when we return on ESPN+.
I think it's so important to celebrate 50 years of Title IX because sports have literally been my entire life, and I can't even imagine if I hadn't had sports in my life, and it just makes me so grateful to kind of the woman who paved the way. I look up to my mom so much. She's probably the most in shape, fitness, athletic person I know. Having someone to look up to like that was really important. My mom has run the Boston Marathon, I think 11 times, and so she'd always run it, and it was always something that I wanted to do, but I never could because it's usually in April, but because of COVID, it was moved to October, and it happened to be over our fall break. It was something that I always wanted to do and do with her, and so it was really special to be at the start line together and drive the bus to the start line together. The first woman who ran the Boston Marathon, and she was there, and it was just, I think, really special to know that I saw like all the pictures of her like the first time she ran it, and like people were literally trying to drag her off of the course. I had like no boundaries in my way to running it. Just knowing that like I had that opportunity, and that was really empowering. And so yeah, it just made me feel like I was part of something bigger. And I think it was the 125th Boston Marathon. So just like kind of looking back, like all those years that like women slowly were like trying to pave their way and get into sports was like really powerful.
Lucy Licata goes inside, connects! Lucy Licata, the freshman, wins it for Gate in overtime. Everybody now closing in. Goldblum with the shot, saved by Lynch, right in transition. Their third straight. Lafayette, Holy Cross, and now American.
It's the greatest honor for me. Well, first of all, representing at the Olympics is like everyone's dream, but also it feels good knowing that we are all the girls that went and represented Team Czech at the Olympics. We know that we started to grow the program for girls playing hockey in Czech a lot more, and that for me is probably the biggest honor that I could actually help set up like the environment and program for the younger generations. It was really hard to do work when I was gone, but all of my professors were extremely understanding, and I'm still working with them now since I got back, and they're still super understanding of me being gone for so long. So on that part, my professors they've just been absolutely amazing, and I could not be happier, and it feels really nice knowing that even though I'm so far away, I still have people that are supporting me and cheering me on. And the moment I'd remember the most is probably going to be the opening ceremony, because that was, I don't even know how to describe it. That was just crazy. You're with everyone from your country, and then you walk through this tunnel, and then you see the light and everyone just kind of cheering, and then you see the big rings above you. And that was the time when it started really hitting me too. So that's the moment I'll remember forever.
Lehigh 8, Colgate 4, Patriot League Tournament quarterfinal action here at Andy Kerr Stadium. Always great to see in honor of Coach Biddle's scoreboard, the legendary coach for the football program here at Colgate University, Dick Biddle, as the Raiders women's lacrosse program looking for a spirited comeback here in the second half. And I think whatever sport, Ellie, as I'm joined by Ellie Markwick here, this is Eric Malinowski on ESPN+. Whatever sport you're involved with, if you're down heading in to the second half, it's all about that first 5 minutes in the third quarter. How does the team respond? You can go one of two ways, where the deficit can get bigger, or you can respond. You can get right back into it, and it's a whole new ball game.
If you're Colgate, draw control is crucial. It feels like so many games that I've done here at Crown Field, we've talked about the draw control so many times, but that's because it's Colgate's biggest strength. They're so strong on the draw control, and Lehigh has been able to match them 7 for 7, 7 and 7 apiece with draw controls today. So Colgate, they want to set the tone in these first 5 minutes. It's crucial that they get first possession off the draw and that they score on that first possession to give themselves some momentum. If they immediately go onto the defensive, they might get stuck in that kind of defensive rut. It happens in a lot of sports when you're playing defense that you kind of mainly think, okay, let's just play defense, let's make sure they don't score, and then you forget all about the attacking. I think Colgate's definitely going to need to do that if they want to come back against this 4-point deficit.
Here is the first draw control of the third quarter. Emma Eberhard and Carnival have 3 goals in the first half. So congratulations to Katia Carnival, as she has 100 for her career. And Colgate wins the draw control. So let's see if that sparks the Raiders, as Millette driving down right away. And a quick whistle going against Lehigh. I know you were taking a look at the first half stat sheet, Ellie, and anything pop out at you after taking a look at the stats? Any points of concern or points of emphasis heading into this third quarter?
I mean, just looking at the big difference in shots, looking at Lehigh has 20, Colgate has 11. Hopefully they'll make it 12 here. Yeah, so 12. Ooh, Hunt having to dive for that save.
Thought it was going to dribble goal line there. Hunt able to stop it as the Philadelphia, Pennsylvania sophomore able to get down and make sure that it didn't dribble over. And here comes Lehigh. So Colgate very close to getting one back in the early stages, but now Lehigh can pad their biggest lead of the afternoon.
Yeah, and just as I was saying with those shots, like here, Colgate defense really needs to work to stop the amount of shots they're getting off. And then on the attacking end, if they're going to come anywhere near Lehigh's lead, they also need to be getting off more shots. So it's a 2-part system here. It looks like the defense has done their part for now.
Yeah, it was a pass down low to a cutter, and if it got there, which they were going to not one of the usual suspects, it was to Quinn Meyer, which we've seen success from the freshman. Quinn Meyer does have one of the goals, but it wasn't to one of the usual suspects, Carnival, Eberhard, or Schneider. But then Colgate, as you've pointed out earlier, Ellie, having some trouble in the midfield area.
Yeah, we saw Eliza Joffrey is such a credit to this midfield. She's able to run it up so far. She's able to breeze past the Lehigh midfielders who might have been giving other players trouble. But unfortunately, we've just seen whenever she passes, it's been difficult for the player receiving that pass to then also contend with the midfield pressure. So for your Colgate, you maybe think maybe Joffrey should just run it all the way through instead of making these passes, and Colgate would maybe keep the ball a little more.
So Lehigh able to settle into their attack mode once again. Nice charge. The defense stiffens, though, at the very last second. Pass through traffic. And Eberhard able to see stuff that most players can't with her 5'8" frame. Once again, the Colgate defense standing strong. Eberhard has to get rid of it. 20 and counting on the shot clock. Eberhard starts left, cuts right, fires it, but to the right. Whistle blown after Meminger with a quick start. Confusion in the back of the net there, the Colgate goal. And now started up again. Meminger, nice pass. Carnival can't deliver. Carnival pointing something, and they're going to get credit for the goal. Carnival knew right away that it went in.
I'm going to have to watch the replay on that one because I did not think it did, but maybe it crossed the line.
Colgate coaching staff definitely not agreeing with that. Carnival was pointing right away. And that would be 4 for her, so some confusion here. Right now, the scoreboard says 9-4.
Sounds like they're going to give it to the Mountain Hawks, but yeah, they're going to give it to Carnival.
Because they were playing. They were going right on, and Carnival right away pointed. And she's pretty much the only one that thought it was a goal, and then they stopped and said, "You're right." And why stop at career goal 100? She now has 101 for her career, and it's at a dangerous time now for Colgate, as we talked about the importance if you're down 4 goals or if you're down a pretty good margin, you have to start things off right in the third quarter, and Colgate starting things off the opposite way. Here's the charge by Sarah Harding. And nice interception that time by Haley Hunt. Hunt, even though she's a sophomore, she has NCAA tournament experience with her team last year, Stony Brook. And not too many more emotional players than Haley Hunt. She is fired up. She would love to play in that Patriot League tournament semifinal, which you'd have to think is going to be against Loyola Maryland. Last check, Navy was leading the fourth quarter against American 20-13. I'll get another check on that score shortly. So Lehigh moving around. Not only are they up by 5 on the scoreboard, but as an athlete, this is where a little bit of doubt may creep in, even though you're trying your best to just focus on the plays at hand and focus on one goal at a time. If you accidentally glance at that scoreboard, that has to be a pretty imposing presence at this time, down by 5.
Well, I think also the amount of energy that you're bringing into the game. You saw Hunt after that clear. All of her defensive men running up to her, like congratulating her. Lots of energy on this Lehigh side. This Colgate bench, though, pretty quiet.
Nice save by Olivia Lynch. But that hasn't been enough for Colgate. Like you said, Ellie, time and time again. Now what can Colgate do to get it into their offensive end? And the pressure that Lehigh puts on Colgate, it almost looks like Sarah Harding is running a marathon down to the offensive end for Colgate. And here comes a yellow card. This will be the first penalty called against Lehigh on the afternoon, and is the 4-goal scorer for the Mountain Hawks, Katia Carnival.
Yeah, and, Lehigh has been very aggressive in the midfield. No problem with that, and it's worked for them, but that was a pretty egregious slash by Carnival. That's going to get called every time.
Navy has eliminated American in the other quarterfinal. So 3 eliminates 6, 23-13. A lot of goals scored in that one. Colgate can't get a shot off, and here comes the Mountain Hawks moving from left to right on ESPN Plus, looking to crack double digits with just over 10 minutes to go in the third quarter.
And, if you're Colgate's defense, that's got to be a little frustrating because this Lehigh offense has been passing so much, making this Colgate defense run and work really hard to slide. Look how far they're being drawn out right now, well past the 12, well past the 8. And then that's going to cause a lot of running needed. So when your offense gets the ball, if you're the defense, you want them to hold on to it for a little while to give yourselves a chance to breathe. And unfortunately, the Colgate offense really hasn't given their defense that opportunity yet.
Lehigh being very deliberate. But that's not really, I don't think, because of the score. They've been deliberate at times throughout this matchup.
That's been characteristic of their whole season. They have the fewest shots on goal in the Patriot League, but they're well-placed intentional shots that deliver results.
I've been really impressed by the passing, and there's a nice pass to the cutter, but unable to deliver. Poked free at the last second. Colgate trying to come away with it, as the penalty against Lehigh continues, and the Mountain Hawks able to attack. That's how impressive they have been. Giordano almost had a point-blank shot after the setup. And now on her feet is Carnival, as the penalty time is winding down.
If you're Colgate here, obviously you want to try and get a shot off on the man-up opportunity, but I think what this Colgate attack needs to do is settle for a second. They haven't had the ball in the attacking end for a while now, and I think they need to get comfortable and get a few passes in before they try anything risky.
This has been third quarter domination by Lehigh, even though the Mountain Hawks have only scored one goal. It just feels like this quarter has been dominated by Lehigh. The Navy win earlier today means the historic rivalry will be renewed between Navy and Army. Through women's lacrosse, Navy, the third seed, will take on number 2 Army Thursday, May 5th at 7 p.m. In one semifinal, the other semifinal, number 1 Loyola, will host that matchup at 3 p.m. against either Lehigh or Colgate. Nice spin move. But again, Haley Hunt up to the challenge, as we haven't heard much from Kara O'Reilly, and we heard plenty from her in the regular season finale on Thursday. So give credit to Lehigh. They have certainly held her in check, and I'm sure Coach Redfern had an extra circle around O'Reilly's name on the scouting report this time around.
Absolutely. There's a lot of Colgate offensive players whose names we have not said, who are usually regulars up here in the commentary box. Players like Licata, Lang, O'Reilly, even Mirandet just have not had a moment today. We'll see if during this timeout, Coach Taylor is able to kind of fire up her team and bring a little life into what's starting to look like a lackluster Colgate offense.
They'll bring us to a timeout. 7:09 left to go in the third quarter. Lehigh 9, Colgate 4. Back with more after this on ESPN+.
At NBT Bank, we believe that if you focus on what matters, the rest will fall into place. And for us, that place happens to be at the top as one of Forbes' world's best banks. NBT ranked high in overall satisfaction, along with customer service, reliability, and digital banking tools. So whether you need personal or business solutions, financial advice, or the latest mobile banking technology, you can be sure with NBT, you don't just have a great team, you have one of the best.
Brand new.
Here you go.
My treat. I just got this super rewarding PenFair credit card.
But you're not in the military.
Everyone's eligible to join. And you get rewards for every purchase.
Everything?
Mm-hmm.
Groceries?
Yep.
Gas?
Yep.
Restaurants?
Every single purchase.
Even dessert?
Here comes trouble. The Flamingo Fiesta.
Experience the power of cash rewards with up to 2% back on every purchase,
Oh, no pictures.
whether you're in uniform or not.
Goals have been hard to come by for the Colgate Raiders. Only 4 tallies so far, and they had 5 in the first quarter against Lehigh when these two teams met on April 28th. Turn the calendar, and now that we're in May, it's a different story so far. Lehigh 9, Colgate 4. with 7:09 left to go in the third quarter. Want to thank Tara once again for doing an excellent job behind the scenes on this ESPN Plus broadcast alongside Ellie Markwick. This is Eric Malinowski, as Colgate desperately trying to get back into this one to extend their season to play the number 1 seed Loyola Maryland, as Navy already victorious today 23-13 over American. That means Navy will play Army, and the winner of this one, it's set in stone, will play 2-time defending champ Loyola Maryland. And you mentioned after the first half, Colgate needs to get more shots, and we're not really seeing that so far. Yes, Lehigh only has a 1-goal advantage in this third quarter, but it just seems like Lehigh is dominating the course of play here in the first 8 minutes and change here. Nice save by Lynch. She's faced a lot of pressure today.
This, if Lynch was not as on her game as she's been today, could be a very different looking scoreboard. So with credit to the Colgate defense and Lynch, they've been working hard today, but just have not been able to make smart decisions in the midfield, and the attack hasn't been able to help them out either.
Carnival to Schneider after Carnival able to steal it. A whistle going against Colgate. It's hard to ever second-guess Schneider, but boy, it looked like she had a wide-open shot. And she goes with the unselfish pass to Meminger. And there's a whistle against Colgate, so in the end, it still might turn out well for Lehigh, but I thought Schneider had a real good-looking shot if she held on to that one.
Well, it looks like Lehigh is more hoping to slow down offense, take control of things, still kind of dictate. So maybe Schneider wasn't a lot, maybe making that tactical call.
Very good point. 5:46 left to go in the third. Lehigh up by 5, 9-4. Gorgeous Sunday afternoon in Hamilton, New York. Hopefully have seen our last snow of the season after that mid-April snowstorm, but we are in central New York, so you never do know. Ball is lost by Carnival. Here comes Colgate with the run. This is the dicey area between the 40s. Colgate gets past them. Let's see if they can settle in, mount an attack, and get a quality shot. Ball is lost. Picked up by Millette. And Millette has been one of the few bright spots so far this afternoon on offense.
I'd also just like to highlight another phenomenal run by Elizabeth Joffrey to get that ball in the midfield. Such a critical tool, this Colgate midfield attack, especially in the area where they've been struggling all game.
Yeah, and when Colgate has lost in the midfield area, it's not like they're making unforced errors. The
Lehigh ride.
Yeah, stifling.
It's very, very impressive and definitely one of their strong points.
Nice run there, nice shot. But Haley Hunt makes an excellent save, and she'll let everyone here know about it. I think Lehigh definitely feeds off her energy.
And you need that right now. That's so crucial for Lehigh to have that kind of confidence, that kind of excitement. It shows in the way they're playing.
Lehigh up by 5, and Haley Hunt named the IWLCA Co-Defensive Player of the Week. That was announced before the Colgate game. She shared the honor with Maryland goalkeeper Emily Sterling, as Hunt finished the week stopping 30 of 40 shots sent her way. Coming into this game, second in the nation, Ellie? 193 saves?
I believe so. Just a testament to how strong it is. Even though statistically Lehigh has less saves than Colgate, it's really been because Lehigh's done the grunt work for Hunt, and then Hunt's delivered when it's gotten down to her. She really is that last line of defense and has served as the anchor of this team so far.
Shot, tough angle there. Give Olivia Lynch credit for being in the right place, right time, but really tough angle by Giordano. And kind of crazy that Colgate's here today, where they are. I mean, needed that 4-game winning streak at the end, and with Olivia Lynch getting the start on senior day and 4 wins in a row by 1 goal. I mean, if you wrote a story like that or you saw a movie about that, you'd say, oh, come on, that doesn't happen in real life, because it doesn't. It's never happened in Colgate women's lacrosse history, and I certainly couldn't look at every women's lacrosse record book, but I wonder how many times that's happened before where a women's lacrosse team wins 4 in a row by 1 goal. So, I mean, to say far-fetched, I mean, it certainly is that Colgate's in this position right now to be in the Patriot League tournament and to host a game. I mean, I'm not saying Colgate's content with bowing out and with just being in the tournament. Certainly, if you know Coach Taylor and the competitor she is and the makeup of this squad, they want to move on, and they'll be severely disappointed with a loss. As nice shot there and count the goal. Nice fire by O'Reilly. Let's see if Colgate can get her on track. Colgate now down 9-5, but give testament to Colgate for not giving up and being in this position that they're hosting a Patriot League tournament game here today.
Yeah, and early in the season, calling the first couple home games, there was very speculation when we were talking about the Patriot League tournament, always using phrases like maybe present in the Patriot League tournament, could see. And as you said, for them to come in with the 4th position is so impressive by a Colgate team that had a rough start to the season, played a bunch of ranked teams, and suffered some pretty tough losses. But as you said earlier, this was a young team that really built resilience, built strength by playing these really good teams, and it's absolutely shown in the latter half of their season.
I don't think we can understate the importance of that O'Reilly goal. She's the one that really catapulted Colgate to victory Thursday. So let's see if they can duplicate that formula for success. And now they currently trail by 4. And O'Reilly gets it going as the draw control is successful as well. So not only the goal, as she's the 2-time reigning Patriot League midfielder of the week. Still plenty of time to go. And if Colgate could get another one here and enter the 4th down by 3, that would be momentous for the maroon and white of the Raiders. Going back to O'Reilly. Throws it behind play here, and the Raiders get it right back. Going to not waste any time. O'Reilly really trying to take this game over. Defers to Millette. Millette being double teamed. Pass down low. Haley Hunt tries to snag it. I think she does. What do you think about that offensive possession, Ellie?
I think it was better. Lots of passing, couple different drive attempts. But you saw Cara O'Reilly repeatedly trying to draw that shooting space. You'd see her falter after it was not called. And I think she was trying to recreate the goal that she just scored. She knows that she's strong on those free position shots. But Lehigh defense was smart, was not going to stand in a way that would allow for that foul to occur. So I think, unfortunately, a missed opportunity for the Colgate Raiders. But if you're Lehigh, you're very proud of your defensive work there. I'm very proud of Haley Hunt, again, with some impressive work coming out of cage and still managing to get that shot. Always kind of scary if you're on a team when your goalie's out of cage. But Haley Hunt, nothing but confident when she went out to grab that ball.
Yeah, and if you look at Lehigh's makeup, they certainly have a lot of seniors, a lot of veteran presence on the defensive end, Ellie. So after that last goal by O'Reilly, I'm sure Lehigh was able to make the adjustments. Nice pass down low to Carnival. Carnival can't come up with it. I'm really impressed by Eberhardt's complete game, but her passing ability is on point. I mean, she puts it right where it needs to be. And if all those passes were able to be brought in by the intended targets, I mean, there'd be nothing Olivia Lynch could do. Colgate unable to mount an attack, but they didn't have much time to work with at the end of the third quarter. So the Raiders, well, they end the third quarter where they started, down 4. They'll have their work cut out for them in the last 15 minutes of regulation. 9-5 Lehigh, back with the fourth after this, ESPN+. One last quarter to go. Colgate trying to ensure that this isn't the last quarter in their season. If that is to be true, the Raiders have a lot of scoring to do in the last 15 minutes. They currently trail Lehigh 9-5. The Mountain Hawks playing some very good lacrosse so far this afternoon in Hamilton, New York. We've talked about it throughout the afternoon, Ellie, but what do the Raiders have to do in the last 15 minutes? I would assume just take it one possession of a time and definitely don't look at the scoreboard and just try to execute every time they have possession.
I was going to say possession is the big factor here. We're looking, Lehigh has 28 shots total today to Colgate's 17. They're winning in the ground balls category. They're doing better on the clears. I think Colgate really just needs to turn on the energy and fire on all facets. I think defense, they're working hard, but they're tired. This has definitely been a defensive game for the Colgate Raiders. And at some point, you've got to say, okay, the attack needs to take this, and they need to give us a little bit of a break. So I think if you're Colgate's offense, you need to start communicating a bit better. Again, we have not seen Licata and that X factor really being able to facilitate any plays. And I think Colgate's offense just hasn't still gotten comfortable yet during the game. We're really going to need to see them wake up and take control if Colgate's going to come back and beat the Mountain Hawks in this fourth quarter.
Yeah, if you look at the shots in the Thursday game, Ellie, Colgate had 31 compared to Lehigh's 23. And as you mentioned, it's 28-17 right now, Mountain Hawks. So the Lehigh coaching staff was very busy making the proper adjustments. And another draw control won by Lehigh. Like you said, I mean, it is tough to beat a team twice in a row. And, the chip on Lehigh's shoulder is they were outplayed, even though it was a one-goal game. I mean, you look at the stats, and, Colgate, for the most part, they definitely won that game on the stat sheet Thursday. And here, Lehigh, definitely the reverse. They're winning it in the stat sheet here today. The good news for Colgate, they still have 14 minutes and change to reverse that. And even though Lehigh won the draw control, Colgate comes away with it. And the Raiders looking to run. There's a pass ahead, but unable to be controlled. The ball is still loose. Peters out, and the Mountain Hawks able to come away with it. Eberhardt will dump it off on the near side to Giordano.
And if you're Colgate, if you want to win this game, you need to get the little things going your way. You need to connect your passes. You need to get your ground balls. That's the first step to really tidying up this game. And Colgate, we've seen, because Lehigh's been putting so much pressure on in the midfield, They get a little scared, they get a little panicked, they make some passes to try and alleviate the pressure, and it just never seems to go their way.
Well, you're in sports, the old adage, it's a game of inches, and that last pass was just an inch behind the Colgate intended target, and that leads to Lehigh having possession, and now another minute or two will be docked off here that Colgate will never get back. And not only that, if the Mountain Hawks are able to score here, then you're fighting back from 5 goals instead of 4.
It seems like with a foul there, it's going to be an opportunity for the Mountain Hawks to do just that. We see stepping up to the 8 hash meter, and Lehigh's been decent with their free position shots today.
And just seems like, I said that game of inches things, but it seems like it's been that all day long. Colgate's just a little off here and there and has led to extra opportunities for Lehigh, and they're able to cash in. And the Mountain Hawks doubling up Colgate. I believe that's a goal by Carnival, and she has been dominant so far today.
Colgate just has not figured out how to neutralize her yet. And that's been another thing that they need to work on.
As most opponents have a real tough time figuring that out, and Colgate no different, although they did the other night. So, when it counts, though, they've had no answers for Carnival, as she has 5 goals here today against the Colgate Raiders.
I will say, I feel like it's always a little more difficult if you're playing a team back-to-back to be the team that won the first time, because you say, okay, what adjustments did we make? We won. And it's your coaches may say, just keep doing what you're doing. And that's a little more difficult to kind of adapt to. Whereas if you're the losing team, you can clearly point to some mistakes and say, this is what you need to fix. And it seems like that's exactly what Lehigh did. And it's really showing on the field today.
She only had 1 goal against Colgate Thursday. And if you're wondering, is that a career high for Carnival? Not even close. She has had 8 goals twice in her career, once this year and once last year.
That is unheard of. Wow.
Yeah, I did my due diligence after I saw she scored 8 goals in a game this year. I'm like,
had to check that.
I'm like, well, that has to be her career high, as she did it against Lafayette this year. And I'm like, well, just to be fair, I'll check. She did it against American last year, so 16 goals in 2 games. There's a laser shot, but Haley Hunt up to the challenge. O'Reilly, she really put some extra oomph on that one, but Haley Hunt, perfect position, got down and made a crucial save to keep the lead at 5 with just over 12 to go. And every save like that, tick-tock of the clock is painful for the Colgate Raiders.
We've been harping a little bit on Colgate's attack today, critiquing them, but they have had some really good shots on goal. But the reason that the scoreboard looks like this is because Haley Hunt is just that good. So, a testament to her work, because shots like that with Carl Riley, 9 times out of 10, those are going in.
Yeah, and the ride in the midfield, it's Lehigh attention to detail today has been absolutely phenomenal. Here's Giordano trying to curl around the defense. Drops it off behind the net. And here's Eberhardt holding it. Soft pass. And another goal by Lehigh, as they're trying to provide no doubt in this one, as I believe Giordano with the goal, Eberhardt with the assist.
Very impressive goal, going all the way around, almost a full 360 to gain power for that shot. And Lynch stepped to it just a second too late. And now Lehigh up by 6, their largest margin so far. If you're the Colgate Raiders, 11 minutes left. You really have to, this is the crunch time. This draw right here, so incredibly important for the Raiders.
Giordano has a goal in 15 straight. That'll bring us to a media timeout with 11:09 to play. All Lehigh in this one, 11-5 We'll be back after this, ESPN Plus. $11:09 to play. Lehigh 11, Colgate 5. The winner of this one will play top-seeded Loyola, Maryland, as that has already been settled thanks to a Navy victory earlier today against American. That was the 3-6 matchup. They do reseed if the lower seed is able to notch a victory, but that was not the case. Navy outpowering the Eagles 23-13. So those matchups will be Thursday. The Loyola game will be at 3 p.m. and then the nightcap, Army hosting Navy at 7. Championship game, Saturday, May 7th, 2 p.m., higher seed. Loyola, Maryland, obviously the odds-on favorite, winning the last two. But either of these teams would love the opportunity to match up, and even if they are to lose to the favored Loyola team, it's always a good learning experience, even if they are to come out on the short end of the stick, and an opportunity to grow and get better. You only become the best by playing the best. Colgate, as Ellie pointed out, had to win the draw control. They win the draw control. Here's Suter. Suter, nice shake and bake there, but she realized the opportunity wasn't there, kicks it out. There's still plenty of time. Colgate just has to score pretty much on every possession. And there's an errant pass. Colgate lucky to pick it up. Suter in traffic, and Haley Hunt up to the challenge. As you pointed out, nothing Colgate did wrong there. Great shot. Suter was able to take a proper angle on the left side, but Haley Hunt saw it the whole way, able to get down and make the save.
And then if you're Colgate's attack, that kind of starts to play with you, because when you've got a good shot, you want to take it, but knowing how good Hunt is, there's also the risk of immediately losing possession if it gets saved, so that's going to start to impede on Colgate's confidence just taking shots.
Now, from an offensive standpoint, if you're Lehigh, you don't want to totally get out of your game plan, but well, I'll ask you, do you stay in your game plan right now? Is it too early to kind of call off what you've been doing, or do you make a conscious attack or conscious point of taking it all the way down to 5 seconds where it looks like they're going to continue to attack? So I guess I'm wrong in my question where they took a shot and now they get it back.
Well, I think they'll stick to their original game plan because it's a balance of both, right? We've talked about how Lehigh really doesn't take the shot unless it's there, so they're not trigger happy when it comes to shooting. They'll wait if the opportunity needs to occur, so they're fine to run down the shot clock because they've done that a couple of times already. But I think obviously they're still here to play, they're still here to win, and that's exactly what we saw with those last two shots that Lehigh fired off.
at what point, let's say they're up 5 with like 4 minutes to go. At what point do you like try to just play keep away? Or, you know what I'm saying, Ellie? At what point do you try to keep away? Or do you continue to play your offense? I mean, obviously with a minute left, if you're still up by 5, then you're not attacking, but
I think a good rule of thumb is once you get past they have to score 1 goal per minute, that's a very difficult ask for any team, no matter how good you are. So, you know, if Loyola keeps this 6-0 or 6-point deficit, or win, 6-point lead over the Raiders, when they get down to 6 minutes, it can kind of start to feel comfortable about things. But like we said, I don't see Lehigh letting up anytime soon. They'll keep the pressure on. They want to make a statement with this win. But they also don't feel the need to, I guess, drive it into the ground and shoot every chance they get.
official discussion here. Currently it's showing 2 on the shot clock. So I'm not sure exactly what the conference was all about.
Some discussion with Lynch, it looks like. But Lehigh will retain possession. 2 seconds left on the shot clock. Not much they can do with that.
Heartbreaker for Colgate softball today as Lehigh scoring 7 runs in the bottom of the 6th to come back and stun Colgate 7-6 in the series finale in Bethlehem, Pennsylvania. Raiders softball team having another good season, but Lehigh very good in softball. And there the horn sound, so it'll be Colgate possession. And we don't want to continue to play the same record, but for Colgate, just have to think about the next shot, and it's crucial that you get this one to go, and then you worry about the next draw control and the next shot. But if you don't get this one to go, then you can't worry about the next draw control or the next shot. So this possession is the key for Colgate.
I think Colgate attack has also struggled on manipulating the Lehigh defense. We've seen them exceptionally good at doing the double, even sometimes triple block, very quick to slide. Colgate offense needs to figure out how to move so that they can find the chinks in that wall of armor and be able to cut effectively and get in front of Haley Hunt so that they can move her and place their shots intentionally.
Marindat with a shot, and a defender goes down. So the whistle going against Colgate.
And Marindat, usually a player who comes up clutch in moments like these in games. There's been a couple games I've called where Colgate's been in a bit of a tough spot, and Marindat has really come through and scored 2, sometimes even 3 goals, but she's been pretty quiet today.
Colgate coaching staff wanted an explanation on that last whistle, and now Lehigh controlling the action once again with a comfortable 11-5 lead. 7:45 to play. Finishing the regular season here Thursday, and due to the loss, having to go back home to Bethlehem, Pennsylvania, and getting right back on the bus yesterday to play the Patriot League Tournament quarterfinal here.
I kind of would have assumed they would have just maybe kept them here. That seems a long way to go.
Yeah, you never know. Pass over to Giordano. Last goal scorer for Lehigh. And this eerily represents mimics the 2016 season. It was a whistle against the Raiders as Colgate won 5 in a row back in the 2016 season, only to see their winning streak come to an end in the Patriot League tournament against Lehigh. And they beat Lehigh a couple games before, 10-8, while the Mountain Hawks got revenge 13-6. And now Lehigh goes up 12-5.
That was too easy for a player Herbert's caliber. Just a quick pass. Exceptional way to cut in front of a defender. Just get right there, cross the body catch. Really good job.
Yeah, we saw the role reversal just a couple minutes ago with Eberhardt feeding Giordano. That time it was Giordano feeding Eberhardt. And with Eberhardt, 5'8", right in front of the net, Olivia Lynch, 5'5". You just do the math. I mean, there's no possible way that if Eberhardt, takes the angle that she should after that perfect setup by Giordano, that Lynch can come through and save that. So now with the score 12-5.
Colgate having to score a goal per minute here if they want to tie it up. So again, draw a circle is so important for the Colgate Raiders right now. It's really a time for their biggest strength to really shine through here.
And what other ways can you do, or what other ways as Colgate does get possession? So let's see what they do offensively before I ask you the defensive question, because I'm sure they'll shoot quickly as the possession is lost by Kira Lucy. What can you do defensively to try to cause turnovers more quickly than you would, let's say in the first quarter where you're just playing a sound defense and maybe not take chances, but obviously down by 7, you need the ball right back. So what are you trying to do extra to try to get that ball back right away without getting the whistle blown against you?
Well, Colgate doesn't really try to ride in the midfield. If you notice with Lehigh, very intentional. They double, sometimes even triple press the Colgate Raider, who's trying to move down the field with the ball. Colgate usually sends one player. That girl will chase after the Lehigh player, but never really get close enough or even attempt to check. So Colgate's already giving Lehigh the opportunity to move the ball down to their attacking third. No really attempts to cause a turnover, and we see even in the stats, at the end of the third period, Lehigh had cleared 13 of 14. Had 13 out of 14 clears be successful, whereas Colgate only had 9 out of 13. So Colgate should maybe try that strategy. I don't know how often they've practiced it, but it's worth trying at this point. And then defensively, I think just sticking to what you're doing, don't let them goad you into moving out past the 8, because if they're still going to play their traditional attack, there's no reason for you to move out and then get sidestepped by them. I think finally just being a little more intentional with checking. Colgate defense, very good about keeping players out of the 8, but very difficult for them sometimes to cause those turnovers. I think if Colgate gets a little more intentional with the turnover causing, could be a game changer for them and give them at least the opportunity to have possession more often.
Taking a look ahead, Ellie, just in case Colgate is unable to pull off the miraculous comeback, a 7-goal deficit with 6:13 left to go. We have mentioned, and I know you've mentioned throughout the year with the other play-by-play personnel about the youth movement here at Colgate and how talented the youngsters are and how they have made an impact and how they will for years to come. Only 3 seniors on the Colgate roster. And as far as the seniors are concerned, Olivia Lynch is the only active one today playing as a starting goalie, and the other 2 seniors aren't active here today. So as far as an impact is concerned, certainly they'll have to address the goalie position. But they do have some experience as far as that is concerned on the roster currently. So the future certainly looks bright for the Colgate Raiders, I'd have to assume.
Absolutely. Colgate have 2 standout goalies in Cunningham and Giroux, a sophomore and freshman respectively. And they got a lot of time in goal this season. As we said, Lynch only starting in cage during the senior game a couple weeks ago. So lots of experience. It won't be like these freshmen and sophomore goalies are coming up with no experience. They're ready. They're seasoned already. And I think as we see these freshmen and sophomores grow into juniors and sophomores, juniors and seniors even, this is going to become a very, very strong and well-experienced team that's already played a number of ranked opponents. I think they'll definitely be really strong contenders in future seasons.
As far as the offense is concerned, plenty of weapons, plenty of young weapons. Defense, too. So you got plenty of returning weapons as Lehigh making that clock wind down. Steal by Colgate. Let's see if they can get out of trouble as it's still loose, but a whistle's blown against Lehigh. So as the clock moves toward the 4-minute mark, the Raiders down by 7. As the Raiders looking for anything here, Lucy Licata marching down the middle of the field, passes to the right to Kate Henning. Back to Lauren Thompson. Thompson double teamed. Thompson backing out of it. 3:50 and counting. Thompson now trying again toward the left side, and Lauren Thompson bounces it home as the freshman from Slingerlands, New York, tallies to bring Colgate within 6.
That was a very, very good goal. She had a couple of attempts, and the bounce shot, just Lehigh goalie not able to step to save that in time. A bit of wind in Colgate sails. There are 4 minutes left. They'd have to score 6 to come back, so it's starting to look like an insurmountable goal difference. But if you're Colgate, happy to get a goal in this fourth quarter. A little bit of wind in your sails. It doesn't quite feel like it's just been a knockdown, a chance for Colgate to really kind of put their name out there in the narrative of this story where it's just been Lehigh, Lehigh, Lehigh.
Yeah, and she tied the Lehigh game with 6:13 left to go Thursday. Her 6th goal as a freshman. So obviously not the same type of momentous goal here, but still.
Something that I'd say Colgate, for morale at least, desperately needed.
And as a freshman, playing in a Patriot League tournament game and scoring, that kind of confidence, that kind of experience will build in future years, and Colgate marching right down. Henning takes a stick to the back of the head, a whistle blown against Lehigh. 3:39 left to go. Colgate can't look at the scoreboard. They have to just look at what's in front of them, and right now, the Lehigh net's in front of them. The only problem with that, arguably the best goalie in the league, is occupying that net, and Haley Hunt. The Stony Brook transfer, playing in an NCAA tournament game last year against Rutgers. Can't block that one from Henning. Henning hammers that one home, and just like that, the Raiders down by 5.
Colgate taking full advantage of that man-up opportunity there, as the penalty will now end and Lehigh will return to full strength. But for Colgate, 2 goals in under a minute, I believe under a minute. That's got to feel good for you, you know, a little more energy. A minute ago, it was about a 7-goal deficit. Now it's 5. It certainly feels better.
2nd goal of the season for the freshman from Garnet Valley, Pennsylvania. Her other goal coming against Loyola, April 9th.
And that's the kind of team that Colgate can be when they successfully, first of all, get the draw control and then execute as an offense. Again, the importance of the draw cannot be overstated.
Timeout Colgate. We're going to keep things right here. As you look, the Raiders scored 2 quick goals. That's the good news. The bad news is they were down by 7. So you still look at the scoreboard, and there's still a very large hill to climb. Lehigh has to be saying to themselves right now, hey, we just need 1 or 2 draw controls, and we're going to be okay. While Colgate, they literally have no room for error, and they have to win pretty much every draw control from here on out. Not only that, they have to score.
I was going to say they cannot lose possession because Lehigh will then take those 90 seconds. You know, that's almost half of the time left on the scoreboard.
And I'm sure in her 14th season, Coach Jill Redfern is saying, not only did you guys lose the draw control, you literally let Colgate march down the field. Player took a stick to the back of her head. I mean, you didn't even put up any resistance to their last goal, which Lehigh has been extremely good, and one of the prime reasons, if they do hold on, why they're going to win today. They've been so sticky in the midfield area, not letting Colgate have an easy path to get into their offensive zone set. But that time was very unlike Lehigh, or at least unlike them this afternoon.
Yeah, and I think, like you said, it was really that penalty kind of threw them off. You saw the girl who committed the penalty kind of throw her hands up in disbelief, but pretty clear hit to the back of the head and gave Colgate all the momentum that they needed to put that ball in the back of the net.
Colgate wins another draw control. And let's see if the Raiders can capitalize. O'Reilly doing an excellent job. Millett has it. Suter starts left, turns right. Her pass is deflected, and the Mountain Hawks take it away.
And that's something we were saying earlier today, is just, you're going to be good. You've got to do the little things. That includes making your passes.
It's easy to second guess now, but yeah, it seemed like earlier Colgate was just get down and attack. Not earlier, but the last, when they scored the 2 goals in under a minute. Yeah, I don't want to start the second guess here, but it seemed like they were trying to set things up a little bit there instead of just going down there and attacking, but maybe that was a byproduct of Lehigh making the defensive adjustments as well. Ended up resulting in a turnover, and now the Mountain Hawks, that clock says 40 seconds right now. They take a shot, and the Colgate erupts. And now I have to question, why is Lehigh shooting that with 40 seconds left to go on the clock? A whistle going against Lehigh. Not only that, but there's a penalty called against Angelina Pino. And I would think ill-advised that they shoot. And the freshman from the St. Paul School for Girls, located in the Green Spring Valley, about 10 miles north of Baltimore, will sit on the chair. We'll see how long. Colgate's hoping she doesn't sit on that chair for long, meaning they score. Pass down low. And once again, Colgate just unable to connect on their passes, something we didn't see Thursday.
Colgate's been pretty good here with their passes. You know, an errant pass here and there is expected of any team, but it seems today that's just been something that's just been a sticking point for Colgate and really kind of hurt them in the crucial moments, which I think is why we found ourselves talking about it so much.
Well, I'd be very surprised if we see the trigger pulled here with 40 seconds left to go on the shot clock. We saw from Lehigh moments ago. And if history repeats itself, I would be shocked. 1:10 left to go. Lehigh up by 5. The last thing they need here is another goal. Pass over to Meminger. Almost gets through her wickets. She's able to keep it alive, dancing between the hashes. Now working it over to the right. Carnival has it, moving over 100 goals for her career. A historic day for her. There's a shot. The shot clock's off. Plenty of exuberance from the Colgate sideline. They're not ready to give up yet. Suter looking for a cutter, finds the trailer, O'Reilly. Pass never quite got there. 15 seconds and ticking. And that will just about do it. And Ellie, just give a quick recap of the Colgate season. 4-game winning streak to end, and unfortunately their season comes to an end, but the Raiders have to be extremely proud of how they finished to host a Patriot League tournament game.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, at the beginning of the season, it looked like very slim chances that Colgate would even qualify for this tournament, much less host a game. So Raiders have a lot to be proud of for this season, really coming back from having almost no wins to having a 5-4 record within the Patriot League. Very impressive for them. And then also credit to the Mountain Hawks. They played very, very well today. Both teams, great seasons. Unfortunately, Colgate Raiders, theirs is coming to an end.
Great job by the 5th-seeded Mountain Hawks. The rebound, they will play Thursday against top-seeded Loyola, Maryland. Best of luck to the Mountain Hawks. Once again, the final from Andy Kerr Stadium in Hamilton, New York. Lehigh 12, Colgate 7. Want to thank Tara for all her work. For Ellie Markwick, this is Eric Malinowski signing off for Colgate Women's Lacrosse.